Hi guys, and welcome to Diabetic Mom and Low Carb again. Welcome back. If you are joining me for the first time, I'm really happy that you are here. Today I'm going to go through my favorite diabetic snacks. They're going to range based on different carb counts, so depending on what your needs are, they may not 100% fit into your diet, but these are the ones that are my go-tos, my favorites. I know when I was first diagnosed in August, it was really difficult. I spent a lot of time crying, just trying to find some foods that I felt good eating, but then also stayed within carb counts because, as you have probably realized, a lot of foods have a ton of carbs, and it can get very overwhelming and really frustrating to be a diabetic and trying to keep underneath a certain carb count. So I'm going to walk us through up to a high level of carb down to 1 carbs, and I'll just kind of go through my favorites. Some of these may be a little odd and not what you're expecting, and that's okay. I'm hoping to kind of throw some new ideas or perspectives at you. So my first one, and I've promoted this before, is my favorite breakfast, and it's 100-calorie Better Oats oatmeal. What's nice about this is it's only 18 grams of carbs for the whole thing. If you look for a breakfast option and want something warm and something other than eggs, because I eat eggs almost daily, this is such a nice option. It doesn't really ridiculously spike your sugars. It's something you can manage, and it's less than a typical English muffin. So I really appreciate this. It comes in different flavors. My favorite is the apple and cinnamon, but it does come in, I think, in maple and brown sugar. And I think there's one more other 100-calorie one that I can't think of right now. So very good. It actually is a pretty significant, decent portion size. If you are curious what that portion size is, look for my video that does go over this. The next one is actually a cracker. So for when you want just a snack and a crunch, I highly recommend these cauliflower crackers. Now granted, if you do not like cauliflower, you will not like these crackers. They do have a cauliflower taste. They are as well 18 grams of carbs for 40 pieces. So that is a big portion size for what you're getting. So if everybody else is eating cheese and crackers, this is something that you can do. They are kind of weird looking and kind of small. So 40 does seem like a lot, but let me show you what they look like. So they are kind of small. They're not as big as what you may potentially would predict, and they are kind of really hard, so it's definitely a different texture. My 1.5-year-old eats these like crazy, so we have to compete for them. They do come in original. I have not tried them, but I do like the cheddar flavor. Again, it tastes like cauliflower, so if you like cauliflower, you'll probably like these. My next ones, and a lot of these are going to be kind of stolen from my daughter, thank be to her, is these white cheddar puffs. Or poofs if you live in my house. You get 2 cups of these for 16 grams of carbs. So this is a big, significant portion. Now, granted, they are big, and so it may not seem so big, but 2 cups is quite a bit of these. I usually just have a handful, and I feel pretty satisfied. These are nice if you're just looking for something that's not going to increase your blood sugars. I usually can have a handful of these and not have to take any insulin for it at all. I like this sometimes at night if I'm just kind of wanting a little snack, but I'm not ridiculously hungry, nor do I want to take some insulin. I'll go to these. They sell them at Aldi. They're really cheap, so that's kind of nice too. And I like the organic ones simply because they're healthier for you. These are become a new favorite. I found these at Trader Joe's. So if you don't have a Trader Joe's around you, that might be a little difficult, but they're 11 grams of carbs for it. And they're Hearty Bars, so they actually will fill you up. It's something you could potentially have for breakfast, but it's only 120 calories, so it might feel small for some folks. And the bars are kind of a little bit on the smaller size. It has cashews, almond, blueberries. They taste amazing though. I use these sometimes as a little dessert for myself because I know it's healthy. And since it has the nuts, it tends not to spike your sugars as high as well. Sometimes I'll do this when I'm on the cusp of almost going low, and it kind of just levels me out a little bit. Now, an odd thing that I'm going to show you guys, so we're going to kind of jump down to some lower carb options. If you are looking for cereal, I came up with this crazy idea, and it is crazy, but Little Kid Puffs from Aldi, or they have Gerber brand, these are kind of a good idea for cereal if you're looking for that whole grain type taste without all the carbs that come from just a wheat cereal. So for 90 pieces or a half a cup, it's 6 carbs, so you can have a whole cup for 12 carbs, which is way less than, one portion size is probably 30 to 40 carbs with any type of cereal. Now, granted, you have to like the flavor, and they're mild flavors, but I have considered using this with almond milk just to get a cereal fix, to feel like I'm actually eating cereal. I don't really eat cereal so much as a diabetic anymore. So just a random thing. It's something to try. They're relatively cheap. But if you're going to eat them like cereal and bowls of cereal, it will probably add up pretty quickly. But just something different to kind of consider, maybe think about. Another diabetic's dream is nut mix, or any type of nuts. This is 6 grams for about 22 pieces. I love nuts. They don't spike me so hard. When I was a gestational diabetic before I became type 1. I got type 1 diabetes 8 months after my pregnancy. So unfortunately, my body just decided that it no longer wanted to produce insulin. But nuts have always been my go-to. They help fill you up, and it's a nice, healthy snack. It's coming from the earth. I try to get ones that are kind of low salt. I don't really love a ton of salt, and for us diabetics, it's probably not great. But a great thing to try if you like certain nuts, go for them. Just be careful with some of the things like cashews. They tend to be a little bit higher carb, higher sugar. Not all nuts are treated the same. Again, another random. I'm going back to the kid food. Can you tell I have a toddler? So again, this is an Aldi find. They do have Gerber brand. You can find them in any grocery store. They have cheddar puffs. They taste like Cheetos. A milder version of a Cheeto, but they taste like Cheetos. So if you are looking for something, these are, I think, 5 grams of carbs, and for 18 pieces, which is still a pretty low amount. A lot of people won't have to bolus for under 5 grams. I would probably have to, unfortunately. I'm really insulin resistant. But this is something kind of fun if you just wanted a couple just to kind of have that taste and flavor of an artificial Cheeto. This will do it. And these are a little bit healthier, I'm guessing, for them. They do come in different flavors as well. They have, I think, like apple flavor and different cheese flavors. So it's definitely something to try. Again, they're mild, they're for toddlers, so they're not going to have all the crazy flavoring that we're used to in a Cheeto. But if you're desperate, it might be a good fit. The other thing that I also live on, I have these everywhere. And yes, you can make them, but every time I make them, it never seems as good as these. So I unfortunately just spend the money and actually just get these. Wisps are amazing. They come in multiple flavors. This is cheddar cheese. They have Parmesan cheese. They have one with bacon. They're so good. At 1 carb for about 23, they're kind of like our diabetic chip. I don't have to do any insulin for this whatsoever, and so I keep them everywhere. I have them at work if I'm feeling a little hunger and I don't really want to do anything. I'll eat these. I have them in my car in case I need a crunch or a snack, and I keep them here at home in case we're doing kind of like a cheese tray or just wanting to snack and have salsa. I'll use these instead of chips, and they work just as well. They taste just as good. I've done these in guac. So if you want to have a Mexican nice, it gives you that whole crunch without a ton of carbs. And last but not least is my favorite dessert, as it fell everywhere. So my favorite dessert, if you can't tell, is spray cream. I live off of this stuff. So if you are looking for something chocolate, peanut butter, or just plain old vanilla, you get it all. I live off of this, like I said. So I always have all 3 options in my house because sometimes at night when I really want a dessert, I'll spray this into a really small bowl and then I have my dessert. I'm really prone to having blueberries and whipped cream at night in case, I'm at that cusp where I need to raise my sugars a little bit to go to bed. But these are so good. It's just a different option. The chocolate one, if you're really desperate for chocolate, this is probably one of the best things. I, started this when I was gestational because it's 1 gram for 2 tablespoons. And now granted, I'm sure not everybody has just 2 tablespoons, but I spray this in my coffee to make it a little treat and I add cinnamon on top. Or I just put this in a bowl and just eat it as is. It makes me feel like I'm having pudding or anything chocolate. You get desperate sometimes when you're, maybe have some high blood sugars but really are craving some chocolate. This is not going to spike you overly much. It's going to make you feel good. So this is my favorite little snack. that like I said, I have 2 more actually in my refrigerators. That's how much we actually go through this. But I make a low carb peanut butter waffles, and I'll put my spray cream on that as well, or any other kind of a type of breakfast food that we might try. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I will continue to try to put some more of my food finds or random interesting things for you. Hopefully you find some hope that there are some foods out here for us as a diabetic. Sometimes we just have to think outside of our box. Sometimes it does mean looking in the toddler aisle. They have smaller portion sizes of our adult sizes, so sometimes that's nice too. If you are looking for like a Nutri-Grain bar or a cereal bar, they have smaller portions that, yes, they cost more, but they might portion them out a little bit better for us. So it's kind of looking at that and saying, okay, at least I know exactly what the carb count is. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you appreciated this. If you have any comments or questions or where to get any of these items, send me a link down below. And thanks for watching. Good night.